friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. Thank you for stopping by and joining me today. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And today's video is part 3 of how to crochet Ursula. So in part 1 and part 2, we did Ursula's head and hair. So in today's video, we're going to do part 3. And I am using a 5mm hook. And I'm also using number 4 wasted yarn. And so I did decide on the body to use black instead of the navy that I was going to use. So I am using a black yarn today. And I will tell you, that is a horrible yarn for a tutorial. But she needed to be done in black, okay? So you really won't be able to see the exact stitch as I'm working, but if you listen to what I'm saying, I tell you exactly what to do in the next stitch. So I hope that you're able to follow along. I think that you will be if you just listen to what I'm saying and follow those directions. I believe we can work this together and get it done. So I appreciate you watching and following with me. And I will come back at the end of the video in here and talk to you a little bit more. Let's get busy and crochet together.
Okay, friends, thank you for joining me at my desk for this portion of the Ursula project. This is the body. So I decided to go with black for the body of my Ursula. I had originally picked out a navy, but then after I thought about that, I didn't have that much of it. I had 2 partial skeins. By the time I do the arms and 8 legs, I might run out, and I don't know that I'd be able to match it. Anyway, I believe Ursula is supposed to have black body and legs anyway, so that's what I'm going with. And then I will go back to the purple that we used on, or I used on the head. I will go back to that colorway when I get to the top of the body, the chest and neck area. So that's what we have going on. So I'm starting with black yarn. I'm using a 5mm hook, which is an H hook. And let's see what else I got going on. I'm going to use some stitch markers, and hopefully we'll be able to do this. Black yarn is hard for me to see, but that's what the project calls for. So I have my magnifying glass set up here and ready. And I know black yarn is hard to see, but if you just listen to what I'm saying, we can get it done together. Okay, so I have to use this little brace here to get started, and then I'll change to my other hook. Alright, so make a slip knot and get that on your hook. Or you can do the magic circle, magic ring, whatever you call it, if that's what you're more comfortable with, by all means. But I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to put a single crochet in that very first chain. Okay, and because I don't want to lose that stitch by the time I get all these stitches in here, I'm going to put a stitch marker in that stitch so I don't lose it. Alright, now I'm going to add 9 more single crochets in that very first chain, the same one we just put that one in. So in all it will be 10 single crochets. That's 1, 2, let's say 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to go ahead and count my stitches right now so that I can make sure I do have 10. I don't want to start the project off as a failure, so I want to make sure I have the right amount. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we have our 10 stitches. Now for me, I personally like to put my stitch marker in my last stitch of the row. Some people like to put theirs in the first. That's perfectly fine. I'm not trying to change how you crochet. You do it ever how you're used to doing it, and I'll do it ever how I'm used to doing it. So I'm putting my stitch marker in the last. Isn't it funny how we all just get in the habit of doing, you know, a certain way, and that's the way we do it. So that's the way I do it. And you do it the way you do it. Alright, and now I want to make sure I don't miss this stitch right here. Right? So here we go for the round 2. I'm going to go in that very first stitch and put 2 single crochets. Okay, so we got to be careful not to skip a stitch, because when we put in 2, it kind of smushes one. So we want to put in 2 single crochets in each stitch. So every stitch, which we had 10 stitches, and now we will end up with 20 stitches. But oh, I need to check and make sure I did put 2 in that one. Did I? Okay, I think I did. I have a magnifying glass right up here, so I may have to lean up to it every now and then, or a bunch, to help me see this black yarn. Okay, at the end of this row, I am going to count my stitches to make sure I have 20. I'm not a huge counter on amigurumi once I get going, but I want to make sure these foundation rows are correct, because I don't want to set myself up from failure right from the beginning. But I don't count every row. It's just amigurumi. If you're off a stitch or so, it still works out. And I never know if I am because I don't count. I'll tell you in a minute how you can tell if you're off, but goodness, I can't get the whole stitch up on here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I do have 20, just, you know, just to make sure I'm setting myself up correctly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, that's awesome. All right, so now I can just use my regular hook and crochet on up. Okay, so we are starting row 3. And on this row, we're going to put 2 single crochets in that very first stitch there. Your very first stitch of the 3rd row, we're putting 2 single crochets. Okay, and then for the next stitch, we're going to put 1 single crochet. 1 single crochet in the next. Okay, in the next stitch, we're putting 2 single crochets. 2 single crochets and 1 stitch. Okay, and then 1 single crochet in the next. The next stitch is 2 single crochets, and that is called an increase. Okay, and then 1 single crochet. Okay, in the next one, we're putting 2 single crochets. The next stitch gets 1 single crochet. and the next stitch gets 2 single crochets. Then the next will get 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in the next, 1 single crochet, and then 2 single crochets, 1, and then 2. 1, and then 2. It's easy enough, isn't it? One, and then 2, and the next to the last. Alright, and so the last stitch gets 1 single crochet, and we started with 2 single crochets at the beginning, so we know the one before it is just going to have 1 single crochet. Now if you get all the way around and then you realize, oh, I got 2 single crochets here and 2 single crochets there, you know you miscounted somewhere, so you can just look back and see where you might have went off track and then just rip it out and fix that real quick, or you can just let it go. It'll be okay. You wouldn't want to do that like a whole bunch, but you know, a little mishap here and there is not going to break your amigurumi. Alright, now I'm putting a stitch marker right there. So that completes row 3. We are ready for row 4. In row 4, we're going to single crochet in every stitch around. So each stitch just gets 1 single crochet. Now that's easy enough, so I'm going to turn the camera off and meet back with you up at just a moment when I get to the end of this row. Okay, so I'm finishing up row 4. I'm at my last stitch, and so I'm going to pull my stitch marker and put 1 single crochet to finish off that round. So we are ready for row 5. Now on row 5 we are going to put 2 single crochets in this very first stitch, and then we're going to put another single crochet in that same stitch, so we made an increase. And now we are going to single crochet in the next stitch, 1 single crochet in that stitch, and then 1 single crochet and 1 more stitch. So we did an increase of 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet in the next, and 1 single crochet in the next. So now we're back to an increase. So in the next stitch we put 2 single crochets, okay, and then the next stitch gets 1 single crochet, and the next stitch gets 1 single crochet. So that's the repeat that we're doing all the way around. 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then 1 single crochet, and then the next stitch 1 single crochet. So repeat that all the way back around till we get to the end, and I'll meet you back up. Increase 1 1, increase 1 1. Okay. Okay, I'm getting to the end of this row, so my next stitch has an increase. And then I'm on the last 2 stitches, and they will be just a single crochet and a single crochet. All right, so we had that is the end of round 5. So round 6 we are going to single crochet in every stitch around. So each stitch gets 1 single crochet. That's easy enough, and so I'm going to let you guys just work on that, and I'm going to get mine done and meet you back when I get to my stitch marker. Okay, I'm ending row 6. I'm in the next to the last stitch, gets a single crochet, and then the very last stitch gets a single crochet. And this is the end of row 6, if I didn't say that. So we are going to start row 7. I'm just stretching my hands a little bit. When your hands get to hurting, just stretch your fingers. All right, on row 7, let's get started. It's another easy row, no problem. So in our very first stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets, both in that one stitch. Okay, the next stitch gets 1 single crochet, the next stitch gets 1 single crochet, and the next stitch gets 1 single crochet. And that's our repeat. Increase 1 2 3, increase 1 2 3. So that's what we're going to do all the way around, is increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and then 1 stitch in a single crochet, 1 single crochet in a stitch, and then the next one's 1 single crochet in a stitch, and then 1 more single crochet in a stitch. So 3 in a row, increase, 3 in a row, increase, 3 in a row. That's simple enough. I know you guys got that, and so we will meet back up after this round. Okay, I am finishing up row 7, and so I'm at the end of it, my last little repeat of it. So this stitch gets 2 single crochets, and then I need to do 3 single crochets in a row. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Well, here we go. All right, so now we are ready for row 8. And so row 8 is going to get 1 single crochet in every stitch. So that's all you do for this row. Really simple and easy. Just 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. And I will meet you back up in just a moment when I get to the end of this round. Okay, I am finishing up row 8, which was just single crochets. 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Okay, now we are ready for row 9. If I can get my stitch marker in there. All right, so for row 9, we are going to put 2 single crochets in this very first stitch here. Okay, 1, 2, all in the same stitch. So increase. Now we're going to do 4 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and each one of those was in a new stitch. Okay, so it was an increase, 1 2 3 4, and that is our repeat. And I'll just do that one more time. This next stitch gets 2 single crochets because it's an increase, and then the next stitch gets 1, the next stitch gets 1, the next stitch gets 1, and I think we need to do one more. 1 2 3 4 to have 4 in a row. Okay, that's what we're doing. Increase, 1 2 3 4, increase, 1 2 3 4. Alright guys, you got it. I'll meet you back up right here when I get to my stitch marker. Okay friends, I am finishing up row 10. No, is that right? Finishing up row 9 because we did 2 single crochets and then a 4 straight in a row. So that was row 9. Okay, I'm finishing up the last stitch right here. Alright, now we're ready for row 10. And so I look back on my paper where I have this written out at and totally messed myself up there for a minute. Okay, row 10 is what we are starting now. We are going to single crochet 1 stitch in every stitch all the way around. So that's all we're doing. Very simple, very easy. I know you guys got this. So we're just building the bottom of our body, and once we get it built out big enough, we are going to start moving up the sides. But guys, I'm going to turn the video off and meet you back up when I get right at my stitch marker. Okay friends, I am finishing up row 10, and so that was single crochets all the way around. So I need to put a single crochet in this very last stitch. And put my stitch marker back in, and we are ready for row 11. Round 11. I don't know if you say row or round. I think I mix it up. I like to just say different things every time. Okay, so for row 11, in this first stitch, we are going to put 2 single crochets all in the same stitch. Okay, and then the next 5 stitches is going to get 1 single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what we're going to repeat. We're going to do an increase and then 5 single crochets in a row, increase, 5 single crochets. And I'm just going to crochet that one more time here, will you? So this next stitch here gets 2 single crochets, and then the next 5 stitches gets 1 single crochet each. So an increase and then 5, and I forgot to count this 5, so let me see. That's my increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm gonna look at my magnifying glass just to make sure I got that right, because I want to make sure where my increase is. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's what we're doing all the way around. And I'm going to meet you back up when I get right at my stitch marker. Okay, we are finishing up the last stitch of round 11. Okay, and it's just a single crochet. I'm going to put my stitch marker back in. Alright, so now we are ready for round 12. So for this row, we are going to do just 1 single crochet in every stitch. So every stitch gets 1 single crochet. That is simple and easy enough. And I know you guys got this. I hope your project is going well for you. And I will meet you up at when I get back to the stitch marker at the end of this row. Okay, I'm on the last stitch of row 12, which was all single crochets. And now we are ready to start row 13. Now on row 13, we're going to begin in the very next stitch with 2 single crochets, all in the same stitch. And then we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have an increase and then 6 single crochets all in a row. Okay, and then next stitch we will increase, and then our row of 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So just repeat that little sequence all the way around. Increase 6, increase 6. And I will meet you back up when I get to my stitch marker. Okay, this is the last stitch of round 13. And it's a single crochet, and I'm going to put my stitch marker back in. Now for round 14, we're going to do something different. Okay. On round 14, we are going to crochet single crochets in the back loop only. So I'm just going to take a stitch here, and just to show you, in case you're not familiar, the stitch, there's a front stitch part of the stitch and a back loop on the stitch. I'll try to get that up here a little bit closer so you can see that each stitch has 2 loops, a front loop and a back loop. I know you can't really see that, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But we're going to skip the front loop and go into the back loop and do single crochets. So just 1 single crochet in each back loop all the way around. And this is row 14. So row 14, back loop only, single crochets all the way. Okay? All right, I'll meet you back up at the end of this round. Okay, this is the last stitch of row 14, back loop only, single crochets. Okay, and I'm going to throw my stitch marker back in here. Now we need to, our project is going to work up the sides. This right here, let me get my stitch marker in there. Okay, this right here that we've got so far is our base of the body. And so now we are actually going to work up the sides. Okay, and because I'm making this up as I go, I don't know exactly how many rows up I'm going to do, but I'm going to single crochet in each stitch around, and then in just 1 second, because I'm just going to pause the video, stop the video, and then I will come back and tell you how many rows that I finished off in black coming up the side. So now we're crocheting in both loops of this next stitch. The next stitch in both loops, single crochet. Okay, and we're going to do that all the way around. In every stitch, 1 single crochet. And like I said, that's just moving up the sides of the body of Ursula. So I'm going to let you know how many rounds to do in just a moment. Okay, friends, so when I left you, we were on row 15, just doing single crochets all the way around to work up height of the body. And so what I have done, that was row 15, and I have ended on row 28, which I believe is 14 rows of height. So that is the height of the body so far. So that was rows 15 through 28, just single crochets all the way around. Now we are going to start row 29. And on row 29, we are going to decrease. So we're still working single crochets. We are going to come to the very next stitch and single crochet 2 together. Okay. So single crochet 2 together. And then in the next stitch, we are going to do a single crochet. Well, let me just do my single crochet over. Okay, I have my decrease. And then the next stitch, a single crochet. Okay, and the next stitch, 1 single crochet. And the next stitch, 1 single crochet. So we have 3 single crochets there, a decrease, and then 1, 2, 3 single crochets. And then the next stitch is going to be a decrease. Crochet 2 single crochets together. Then we're going to do 3 single crochets. Okay, and that's our repeat. Decrease, 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do that all the way around, and I will meet you when I get back to my stitch marker. Okay, I am finishing row 29. It was decrease and then 3 single crochets, so I just decreased, and now I have 3 single crochets to finish this row. Okay, that's my last stitch for this row, and I'll put my stitch marker right there. Alright, so now we are moving on to row 30. Okay, on row 30, we are going to put 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So just 1 single crochet in every stitch. And I will meet back up with you in just a moment. Okay, so I'm on the last stitch of row 30. Okay, and we are ready for row 31. Okay, so on row 31, we're going to do another decrease row. We are going to decrease the first 2 stitches together. That's single crochet 2 single crochet, single crochet 2 single crochets together, which is a decrease. And then we are going to single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and then decrease. And that's our pattern all the way around. And then 1, 2. So decrease, single crochet 2, decrease, single crochet 2. We're just going to do that all the way around until we get back to our stitch marker. Okay, I am finishing row 31, and the last little section is single crochet 2 together, and then 2 single crochets in the last 2 stitches, 1 each. Uh-oh. Okay, so that finishes row 31. All right, so we have decreased a good bit here. That is her waist. Now on this next row, row 32, we are going to single crochet all the way around. One single crochet in every stitch. So that's what we do all the way around. Just every single crochet gets one single crochet. All right, I'll meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so we are finishing up row 31, no, row 32. Row 32, it was just single crochets all the way around. And now I'm putting a stitch in my last single crochet of that row. All right, so now we're ready for row 33. Okay, on this row we are going to increase. So on this very first stitch, we're going to put 2 single crochets. 1, 2, all in that same stitch. So we have 2 single crochets. Then we're going to put 3 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3. That's 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. Okay, and then we're going to increase, which is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. And then we're doing 1, 2, 3. Okay, that is the repeat for this row. Increase, 1, 2, 3. Increase, 1, 2, 3. I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, I'm at the end of row 33. I just did an increase and I only have 2 stitches left. We were doing increase, single crochet 3. I don't know if I messed up somewhere along the line. I tried to go back and look, but I cannot see the stitches on this black yarn. So I'm just going to do my last 2 single crochets and move on. It's just an amigurumi. It will work out in the end. So I'm doing single crochet and single crochet. So I'm short 1 single crochet there. I don't know if yours turns out short or if yours turns out with 3, but I'm going to move on. I'm not going to stress over it, and you shouldn't either. Okay, so that is the end of row 31. Now we are ready for row 30. No, I'm so sorry. That is the end of row 33. Row 33 was increase, single crochet 3. Okay, now we're ready for row 34. Please forgive me. Okay, row 34. On this row, we are just going to single crochet all the way around in all the stitches. Every stitch gets 1 single crochet. Okay, so just one single crochet in every single crochet. And I will meet you at the end of this round. Some of the stitches are hard to get into, but I will meet you back when I get to the stitch marker. Okay, I just finished row 34, which was all single crochets. So now we are ready for row 35. Okay, so row 35 is going to be an increase row. We are going to increase in the very first stitch. we're going to place 2 single crochet stitches. That's an increase. Okay, in the next stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet, and in the next stitch we put 1 single crochet. Okay, in the next stitch we're going to increase, so we put 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Okay, and then the next stitch is 1 single crochet, and the next stitch is 1 single crochet. So that's our repeat. Increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, increase, 1, 2, all the way around, and I'll meet you back when we finish this round. Okay, I'm at the end of round 35. So I just did an increase and I have 4 stitches left, so I'm going to single crochet 1, 2, and then I'm going to increase in the next to the last, and then single crochet in the last. So because I got off count on another row, I'm off count still, so it's okay though. I'm just going to pretend like it worked out fine and keep going. It's just an amigurumi and it will be fine in the end. Okay, so that is the end of this row. Of row 35. Okay, so just looking at our piece, you can see it's kind of flaring back out. We come in for the waist, and now we're flaring back out for the top. So on this row, which will be row 36, we are going to single crochet in every stitch around. And actually I'm going to build it up a little bit, so I'm just going to single crochet in a few rounds around, and I will come back and tell you how many rounds of single crochet that I do. So it will be rows 36 through something, and I will let you know in just one moment. Okay friends, so I have completed 7 rows of single crochet to come up and make the chest part of our Ursula. From the waist up. When I left you last, we were on row 36, and I single crocheted 7 rows, and that has brought me to row 42. Okay, so that's what we do. Single crochet to row 42, and that's 7 rows of just straight single crochet. Now we're at the point where we need to start stuffing. I put a little bit of stuffing in there so I could just put it out to see how my chest area was turning out. But I took my stuffing back out because I want to show you how I stuff amigurumi. So I get some, and you'll notice that we made this so the bottom here is flat, and so I want to kind of keep that shape. So I'm just stretching out my stuffing, letting air get up in there, and then I'm just going to put that in the bottom, and I'm going to do that until I fill up the bottom. But you always want to take your stuffing and stretch it out, pull it out, let air get up in there, and okay, so I've about got the bottom of this filled up. And so our next thing we do, I opened the door and let Phoebe in and out, and mosquitoes and bugs came in, so they're irritating me. Okay, so now we have some stuffing in there, but that's not good enough. We need to take our hand and go in the stuffing and spread that stuffing out to these outer walls. So push your fingers to make a hole right in the middle is what you're doing. You're making a hole down in here, and you're pushing your stuffing out to the outside. And then you're going to take stuffing and stuff that hole, but continue to push stuffing to the outer wall of Ursula. And just keep doing that. Add in more stuffing. Put it down in there. Make your tunnel, spread it out. We want to try to keep the bottom flat, but fill it with stuffing. But we don't want to just fill it to the top. We want to fill it to the outside and to the top. So that's a technique for stuffing amigurumi. I do have a video linked in my description box always about how to stuff amigurumis. You can tell it's getting a little more full. It's filling up. And you can see that the outside is filling out, is what I'm trying to say. So just keep doing that until you get it stuffed really well and that you are happy with the way yours is. You don't want to use you want to use enough stuffing. You don't want to use too little, because then it will not it won't look good, and it won't be full and tight. But you don't want to put so much stuffing in it that you push your stitches apart. So you have to find that little sweet spot where it's full but not too full. Okay, so just continue to stuff your stuffing as before we're supposed to start decreasing. So you want to go ahead and get your stuffing in there pretty good. But before we start that, I want to say, okay, so this is going to be the back of my amigurumi. So somewhere straight across here is going to be my front. We're not going to count stitches. We are just going to line it up and say, this is my front, and that's going to be somewhere on the front of my Ursula. Okay? So when we get to this stitch over here, we are going to do something either in that stitch or the one next to it or something right there. So I'm going to go ahead and start crocheting on this round. This is round 43. And so for this round, we are going to decrease. That's single crochet, 2 single crochets together, decrease, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then decrease. 1, 2. I'm so sorry, guys. Back this up. Bring it back to your very last stitch that you did. I'm going to have to redo my last stitch there. Okay. This is my last stitch. Okay, so I'm not going to complete the whole stitch. We are going to change colors. So we need to set our black aside, or whatever color you did use. And let's get our skin tone color that you used out. I'm so sorry about that. Now, have a tail here. Okay, we started this stitch here, but we didn't quite finish it. So grab your new yarn that you're using and finish off this stitch. And go ahead and do the next stitch. Okay, so we have, that was the last stitch of the last round, and then this is the first stitch of this round. And then I'm going to take my two tails, the black and the purple, and I'm just going to go ahead and knot those. This is on the inside, so it doesn't even have to be trimmed or anything like that. And I'm going to put my stitch marker back in, knot the stitch that I'm working on right there. Not this stitch, but the one just before it, because that would be our last stitch of that row. Okay. Alright, so this is our first stitch for row 43, and actually it's not supposed to be a single crochet. Guys, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. Bear with me. Okay. Let's decrease. Single crochet, 2 single crochets together. Okay, we decreased. Now we're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Decrease, single crochet 2 together, and then let's single crochet 1, 2, 3. We're going to repeat that all the way around. Decrease, 1, 2, 3, decrease, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry I messed up and made that little bit of mistake, but I'm leaving that in there because I'm not perfect, and I, don't want to pretend like I am or anything like that. I'm sure you all know I'm not by now. But anyway, when I get around to this somewhere, it doesn't matter exactly where that's at, but I'm just trying to kind of line it up because I do want this in my back. So put a stitch marker or something about midway. You don't have to count stitches. You can just eyeball it. When I get to this over here, I'm going to come back and show you what I'm going to do. Okay, I have made it around doing the decrease and single crochet 3 and decrease single crochet 3 all the way around till I am right at my stitch marker. I have just did a decrease. So next comes 3 single crochets. Okay, decrease, 3 single crochets. I'm going to do that first single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to take that stitch marker out because I'm not actually putting this stitch in that, but it's next to it. But just somewhere right across from your back is where you want to do this. So I decreased 1 single crochet, and then it needs to be 2 more. I'm going to take that middle single crochet, and I'm going to do a little spike stitch with it. We're going to go down the next row, under the next row, down to the 3rd row down. 1, 2, 3. I think we can go down. No, we're going to go down the bottom of the bottom of this row here. It will be the top of the third row down. Just kind of line it up and go in there. Just poke your crochet hook through, and we're going to do a single crochet. Okay, so you skipped the first row, the second row, you kind of went into the top of the stitch on the third row. And then we're just going to continue on. Okay, so that makes our decrease 1, 2, 3. And now we're back to a decrease. And then we're back to 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's look at that and see that it does look okay. That is kind of the center of the front of our project. So this is her chest area. So look at that as like cleavage. And that's what we're going to go with. That's just a little cleavage spot right there. So back to crocheting or finish up this round all the way around. Decrease 1, 2, 3. Okay, I've made it to my stitch marker. I decreased and then I have 2 stitches left. So I'm just putting a single crochet in each of those stitches. Okay. Now I'm putting my stitch marker back in right here. Okay, and that completes row 43. Mark that off that I have done row 43. Okay, so for row 44, we are going to single crochet all the way around. And actually we're going to do this for row 44 and 45. Let's do 2 rows of single crochet. So just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Okay, I think you got this, and I will meet you back up when I finish these 2 rows, 45 and 40, 44 and 45. Okay, friends, as you can see, I finished rows 44 and 45. They were just 2 rows of single crochet. And I went ahead and stuffed my body, you know, and I continued to stuff it, but yet not overstuff it. And we don't want to stretch out the waist. I have a lot of fuzzies on it I'll get off later. But we don't want to stretch out the waist. We want to leave that little waist indentation in there, so don't stretch that out too far. But remember to, you know, you want to push that out to the sides so that it's solid, but not so much that your stitches come apart. You don't want to see stuffing. And if you have a tendency to push your stitches apart, you might want to put your stuffing in black pantyhose or something like that, so that you don't see the stuffing. But you really don't have to do that. You can just stuff it without overstuffing it. Okay, so I don't know about y'all, but I'm glad to be done with the black for now. It has gave me a headache trying to see all that black yarn. Okay, so just continue to stuff it on up. You know, make tunnels as you need to, and then stuff that some more. And we need to, you know, fill our stuffing up. Where the next row is going to decrease again, so you're going to continue to add stuffing because you don't want to close it and not be able to get your stuffing in there. Okay, but you just want to make sure your sides are tight, and that you've, put enough stuffing. It does take a lot of stuffing to stuff an amigurumi. I know I often see amigurumis that are not stuffed enough, and after a while that's gonna pack and clump up in there, and you just want it solid. Okay, I have a ton of fuzzies on the outside. I'm gonna have to go around it with a lint roller. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start the next row, which is row 46. Okay, row 46. On this row, we are going to decrease right here in the first 2 stitches. We're going to single crochet 2 stitches together, so that's a decrease. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet 1 in the next stitch and 1 in the next stitch. Okay, that's our repeat. Decrease, and then 1 single crochet and 1 single crochet. All right, we're going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you back up at the end here. Okay, I'm at the end of row 46, and so we were doing a decrease and then 2 single crochets. I just did a decrease and 2 single crochets, and I have 2 single crochets left, so I'm just going to single crochet those and not worry about doing another decrease right there. Okay, and that concludes row 46. All right, so now for row 47, we are going to single crochet all the way around. Just 1 single crochet in every stitch. Phoebe. Okay, so just 1 single crochet all the way around, and we're going to do that for 2 rows. We're going to do it for 47 and 48. So 2 rows of single crochets, and I will meet you back at the end of row 48. Y'all, we are almost finished with this body. Okay, so we just finished up rounds 47 and 48 of single crochets, right? Okay, so now we are on to round 49, and we are going to decrease another round. All right, so for this round, and go ahead and stuff your body some more. Go ahead and, stuff up the chest area. Make sure you, push some stuffing up in there to fill out the chest. And, all that right there. So, here we go. For this next row, we are going to decrease the first 2 stitches together. And then we're going to single crochet 1. Decrease the next 2 stitches together, and then single crochet 1. So that is our repeat for this round. Decrease 1, decrease 1. And I will meet you back up at the end of this row. Y'all, we are done. We completed round 49, and that's it. We're done. I'm calling this done. I was thinking we would go 50 rows, but I think this is going to work perfect because, and I know this leaves a large hole right here, but if you take your head, take the head and set it right inside that hole, it should just fit really perfect right there. Now, if yours doesn't fit, you could go another round and do decrease single crochet 1, decrease single crochet 1 to close the hole up a little bit, but mine fits perfect, and so I'm going to stop there. And what I'm going to do is leave a long tail for sewing the head on. That's my plan. I'm just going to leave a long tail. And I'm going to pull my yarn through. All right. So, I hope that yours has turned out. I hope you've been enjoying this. But that's what we have ended up with, and I will meet you back in the yarn room to finish off this video.
Okay guys, welcome back to the yarn room. We have finished Ursula's body, and this is what mine looks like. She does have a bit of a flat bottom. Now I do have like some fuzzies all over it, so I'm going to get the lint roller and roll over it later, but right now it's fine because it's just going to get more stuffing probably on it. But that is what it looks like. Just keep in mind when you're stuffing not to stretch out your waist and not to stretch out your stitches. You see, you don't see stuffing except for the fuzzies on the outside. There's lots of fuzzies and stuff on the outside of mine right now. And I left a long tail for sewing, and that hole looks kind of biggish. As I said at the very end, if I was like, oh, I didn't mean to leave that big of a hole, but I think when I put Ursula's head on here, it fits in that hole perfectly. I don't know how well you can see that, but it does fit in there perfectly. And so I love her. I love her. Okay? I love her. I love how she's turning out. Okay? And I'm not going to sew the head on just yet. I'm going to wait until I get all the parts made and then sew her head on. But I can just tell you that I love how she is turning out. Now, if your hole is too big or something for your head, you can do another round of decrease, single crochet one, and decrease to close that hole up a little bit more. But you don't want to close it up too much because you do want your head to sit perfectly there. And see how we made that the little middle section for her little bit of cleavage? And just line her mouth up with that area. And so I love how she is turning out. She does have a flat bottom. And as I was stuffing, I did make sure to continue to leave this flat. And there we go. So I'm very pleased with how she's turning out. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. This was a lot of work. But it is worth it, okay? It's so cute that it is worth it. But yeah, I struggled with that, just ripping it out, redoing it, ripping it out, and redoing it, because I wanted it to be proportioned right, because this is a large head. And if the body was too small, it would not look good. If the body was too big, it would not look good. So I had to work this body many times over trying to get the right proportion, and I think I did accomplish that. So, and I wanted her to have a waist, and then I wanted it to come back out for her chest and busty area, So, yes, it was a lot of work, but it is so worth it. I'm so glad I did it, and I just can't wait to put the rest of her together. So, there you go. There is part 3 is her body. Now, part 4 will be her arms. And then I realized part 4 will be the arms. I don't think they're a big deal. It's just 2 arms. And then I realized the next part is her legs, and we have to make 8 of them. We will get it done, okay? It may take us a little bit of time to get it done, but we're going to get this done. And I'm enjoying it so much, and just I love doing amigurumis. Yes, they hurt my hands. My hands hurt terribly doing amigurumis. but I just love doing them. So I crochet a little, and I have to stretch my hands and relax them and just massage my hands and stuff, rest them, and then I crochet some more, and then I rest my hands, because it's worth it to me in the end to watch this come alive, not come alive, but come to life, and her little character personality come out in her. So yes, I really do enjoy doing amigurumis. Thank you so much for following along with me. I can't wait to see how your Amigurumi Ursula is turning out. If you are making this along with me, you could post some progress photos in the Facebook group, and I will see them there. But friends, it's a beautiful day to crochet, and I will see you in the next video.